Big Elk is a manufacturer of a variety of equipment that serves the energy infrastructure industry. We provide several pieces, but the main one of which is custody transfer measurement equipment. It's most often used when you have a scenario where you've got two energy companies that are buying and selling natural resources, and we provide that cash register equipment that manages those transactions on a large scale basis. In addition to that, there's a variety of pressure regulation equipment, just all sorts of items. But in general, we serve the energy infrastructure industry. Choosing a name for a company can be a difficult thing. I wanted something that I had a tie to, but was not necessarily, Hager Industries or, something like that. And so my mother's Osage Indian, and along that ancestral line, my great-great-great-grandfather, so my third great-grandfather, was a chief of the Osage tribe during the settlement time period. His name was Opentonka, which is translated Big Elk, and so that's where the name of the company came from. So it was a way for us to pay homage to that heritage. Our customer base is the largest energy infrastructure companies in North America. So you are going to be hard-pressed to find a major infrastructure project, particularly on the natural gas side, that Big Elk doesn't have some role in as far as providing key equipment for. When we were, just 10 months old, we received our first multi-million-dollar contract with a large infrastructure company, and that really paved the way for tremendous employment increases, really helped us build out our infrastructure base as a manufacturing company. Now we're poised to, just 2.5 years later, we're nearly 100 employees and doing some really great things. We do maintain extremely close relationships with all of our particular customer base and have very real and frank dialogue with them when it comes to these big key projects. I would say that in my experience, the vast majority of the entities that we deal with, they tend to have a strong sensitivity towards these issues as well. There are definitely incidences where you'll have a case, a particular case where something occurs that really puts a barrier between the entity that's building the infrastructure and the indigenous groups where that infrastructure is being laid. I would say my experience is those are pretty few and far between. We take them very seriously when they do occur, but we certainly have dialogue with all of our partners to make sure that there's a strong sensitivity towards indigenous people that are going to be potentially impacted by these projects. Given the history in terms of where the company name came from, that's something that's very important to us. And so it was very important that we find a partner who also had a similar passion for that native heritage, and we found that in One Fire. One Fire was one of the groups that we came to when we were simply a dream on a piece of paper, and they believed in us. And from that time until now, the company's grown tremendously, and One Fire's proved to be an incredible partner of Big Elk. Furthermore, they've helped us more than just with the initial investment. We've utilized other employment programs within the Creek Nation. We have several Creeks employed at Big Elk, and some of them have started at general labor positions and have moved up and promoted and are part of key manufacturing processes now as well. So they've been a tremendous partner for us.
I've been here since they've opened up the doors here in this facility, which has been around mid-November of 2014 that I've been here, so going on 3 years now. This is actually the first time I've really been able to be at the head of most of these jobs that's actually come through on getting their jobs out on time, our other customers getting their jobs out on time. And being with Creek Nation, we got one guy that's under me now that we brought on through the Creek Nation employment that they have there. And we're real happy to have him. He's done a really, really good job. I really do like the Big Elk family here. That is one way that Jeff Hager has built it for all of us. that we put in all of our employees, that I instill in all my employees that I have under me, is just that family aspect of everything that we do here.
We have an amazing culture here at Big Elk. I hope you get an opportunity to meet and visit with some of our other team members. You know, we're only 2.5 years old, but in that time period, you know, with nearly 100 people employed now, and I think that we'll be over that here in just a couple of months. We're in a high growth mode. I guess there's two things I would share. One, we have a passion for the culture that exists here. In 2.5 years and nearly 100 people, I think we've only had 2 people that have voluntarily left the company for another opportunity. So I think our retention would be unprecedented relative to most companies. And that's not by coincidence. And so we have an amazing team. Certainly we've got a great facility and equipment and all those sorts of things, but at the end of the day, our biggest asset is our people. And our people know that. We work very hard to make sure that there's no us versus them culture that exists within our company. Everybody operates on the same team. So it's a powerful thing when you can actually pull people together and make that happen. As a result, you know, now we're being utilized by some of the biggest companies in North America on some of the biggest projects that are bringing natural resources to places where they weren't previously, and that's something that we're extremely proud of. Again, One Fire's been a tremendous partner, and you know, now we're at a point where we can begin providing a return on that initial investment. We look forward to that as well.